Jai. So last week we began, or last meeting, we began the Rasa Dance, chapter 33. So I think we can jump right in. I created a little bit of a review with the first few verses of that chapter to bring us up to where we are now. And I'll just start to read them now. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 33, texts 1 through 6. Sukadev Goswami said, when the cowherd girls heard the Supreme Personality of Godhead speak these most charming words, they forgot their distress caused by separation from him. Touching his transcendental limbs, they felt all their desires fulfilled. There, on the Yamuna's banks, Lord Govinda then began the pastime of the Rasa dance in the company of those jewels among women, the faithful gopis, who joyfully linked their arms together. The festive Rasa dance commenced, with the gopis arrayed in a circle. Lord Krishna expanded himself and entered between each pair of gopis. And as their master, and as that master of mystic power placed his arms around their necks, each girl thought he was standing next to her alone. The demigods and their wives were overwhelmed with eagerness to witness the Rasa dance, and they soon crowded the sky with their hundreds of celestial airplanes. Kettle drums then resounded in the sky, while flowers rained down, and the chief Gandharvas and their wives sang Lord Krishna's spotless glories. A tumultuous sound arose from the armlets, ankle bells, and waist bells of the gopis, as they sported with their beloved Krishna in the circle of the Rasa dance. In the midst of the dancing gopis, Lord Krishna appeared most brilliant, like an exquisite sapphire in the midst of golden ornaments. Jai. So, Samapriya, here we are, bringing everything back to our consciousness, back to that transcendental. This is the most famous, most wonderful, most jubilant, effervescent, uplifting spiritual event that ever happens. So let us continue. You have to unmute, Sama.
Thank you. That was wonderful. I'm quite fortunate to be able to read these things together. Okay, let's start today with Sukada. Would you like to read, Sukada ji? The first two paragraphs of the Krishna book.
Okay. This is text 7 through 16 of Krishna book. As the gopis and Krishna danced together, a very blissful musical sound was produced from the tinkling of their bells, ornaments, and bangles. It appeared that Krishna was a greenish sapphire locket in the midst of a golden necklace decorated with valuable stones. While Krishna and the gopis danced, they displayed extraordinary bodily features. The movements of their legs, their placing their hands on one another, the movements of their eyebrows, their smiling, the movements of the breasts of the gopis, and their clothes, their earrings, their cheeks, their hair with flowers. As they sang and danced, these combined together to appear like clouds, thunder, snow, and lightning. Krishna's bodily features appeared just like a group of clouds. Their songs were like thunder. The beauty of the gopis appeared to be just like lightning in the sky, and the drops of perspiration visible on their faces appeared like falling snow. In this way, both the gopis and Krishna fully engaged in dancing. Do you want me to go on, or do you want to go to someone else?
Yeah, read the next paragraph, the necks of the gopis.
Okay. The necks of the gopis became tinted with red due to their desire to enjoy Krishna more and more. To satisfy them, Krishna began to clap his hands in time with their singing. Actually, the whole world is full of Krishna's singing. but it is appreciated in different ways by different kinds of living entities. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Yayatamam Prapadyanti. Krishna is dancing, and every living entity is also dancing. But there is a difference in the dancing in the spiritual world and in the material world. This is expressed by the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, who says that the master dancer is Krishna and everyone is his servant. Everyone is trying to imitate Krishna's dancing. Those who are actually in Krishna consciousness respond rightly to the dancing of Krishna. They do not try to dance independently, but those in the material world try to imitate Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The living entities are dancing under the direction of Krishna's Maya and are thinking that they are equal to Krishna. But this is not a fact. In Krishna consciousness, this misconception is absent, for a person in Krishna consciousness knows that Krishna is the supreme master and everyone is his servant. One has to dance to please Krishna, not to imitate or to become equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The gopis wanted to please Krishna, and therefore, as Krishna sang, they responded and encouraged him by saying, "Well done, well done." Sometimes they presented beautiful music for his pleasure, and he responded by praising their singing.
Okay. Pati, is it okay if I ask a question?
Sure.
now?
Yep.
Anyone who would like to answer this. Krishna is dancing and everyone is dancing. Krishna is the master of dance. That was so profound. Krishna is dancing with everyone. What does that mean to anyone here? What does that mean? Krishna is dancing with every single living entity according to the way they can dance. What does that mean? Who's sure?
Just like in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it appeared as though all the soldiers were fighting, but actually Krishna Sudarshan Chakra was going around killing everybody. And that was witnessed by one rishi who was sitting on a hill and told not to fight. So the thing is that the same way, everything is moving under Krishna's energy, Krishna's ecstasy. But the thing is that only devotees are the ones who can actually appreciate and see it occurring and how it's actually involving everything.
Okay, well, what would happen? If Krishna's doing everything, why do I have to do anything?
No, Krishna's dancing. But like it says, Yayatamam Papadyate, as you surrender in him, then you'll see accordingly. Otherwise, you'll miss it.
Okay. Anyone else? Karna?
Well, I guess why we have to do anything, we have to learn to dance correctly instead of trying to dance independent. But I was thinking, Cat Stevens' song, "We're only dancing on this earth for a short while." It's a nice poetic metaphor that all of our behavior is like dancing. Or Shakespeare said, the life is but a poor player, or all the world's a stage is a different play, but the same idea that life is but a poor player who struts and frets his hour on a stage. And drama is like dancing in India. Natyam is dramatic dancing or whatever. But yeah, so yes, Krishna this is a beautiful explanation or metaphor that everything is Krishna's dance, but in the material world, it's the place where people who want to try to dance independently go, and they're dancing incorrectly.
Good, very good.
When I first heard the story that Bahushara told, there was a little added feature to it. I heard that after the Battle of Kurukshetra, as Arjuna was traveling back from the field, everyone had died, all the bodies were there, everything was, and they were feeling quite satisfied that it was over. And he saw this rishi off to the side of the field, so he went over there. And the rishi didn't really respond very nicely to him. He was absorbed in meditation. So Arjuna brought his attention to him, and while they were speaking, he said, "Didn't you see what do you know who I am? Do you see what I just did?" And the rishi said, "No, I didn't see anything of the sort. All I saw was Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra killing everyone." In other words, Arjuna thought he was the doer, but in that particular story, but this man's vision was that Krishna's doing everything. So I like the story, and I like Bahushara's response too, that and Kuranath's, because we think we're independent. We think that we're the doer, when in actuality everything is being done by Krishna. But in order to see that and reciprocate with it requires surrender and acknowledgement of that fact.
Gurnath?
One other thing I like about this metaphor is that, Krishna consciousness is not like learning something from a book or, it's more like a cultural thing, like learning to speak a language or learning to dance. You have to really, you have to change your heart, and you have to,
Nice.
it's like a cultural change.
Yeah, it's a heart change. The heart has to be there. And that's the free will. Free will. That's all we got here is free will. And sometimes it doesn't look like it's that free. But that's our free will is changing our heart. Very good. Okay, shall we go on? Gurnath, why don't you read?
Oops. Okay, when some of the gopis became very tired from dancing and moving their bodies, they placed their hands on the shoulders of Sri Krishna. Then their hair loosened and flowers fell to the ground. When they placed their hands on Krishna's shoulder, they became overwhelmed by the fragrance of his body, which emanated from the lotus, other aromatic flowers, and the pulp of sandalwood. They became filled with attraction for him, and they began to kiss one another. Some gopis touched Krishna cheek to cheek, and Krishna began to offer them chewed betel nuts from his mouth, which they exchanged with great pleasure by kissing. And by accepting those betel nuts, the gopis spiritually advanced. The gopis became tired after long singing and dancing. Krishna was dancing beside them, and to alleviate their fatigue, they took Krishna's hand and placed it on their raised breasts. Krishna's hand, as well as the breasts of the gopis, are eternally auspicious. Therefore, when they combined, both of them became spiritually enhanced. The gopis so enjoyed the company of Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, that they forgot that they had any other husband in the world, and upon being embraced by the arms of Krishna and dancing and singing with him, they forgot everything. The Srimad Bhagavatam thus describes the beauty of the gopis while they were rasa dancing with Krishna. There were lotus flowers over both their ears, and their faces were decorated with sandalwood pulp. They wore tilak, and there were drops of sweat on their smiling mouths. From their feet came the tinkling sound of ankle bells as well as bangles. The flowers within their hair were falling to the lotus feet of Krishna, and he was very satisfied.
Go on.
Actually, there's a section in that caught my attention. Wanted to bring it up. We just before we were reading Samapriya's reading from the 6th canto, the Hamsagulya prayers, and Daksha was praying, and the purport was describing how the mind has to be completely freed from anything material. Also, I posted on the WhatsApp notice board the Prabhupada's commentary on the song by Narottam Das Thakur. When will I be freed from all material desires? Then I'll be able to understand Vrindavan. So as we were reading this, it says here that the gopis so enjoyed the company of Krishna that they forgot they had any other husband in the world. And upon being embraced by the arms of Krishna and dancing and singing with him, they forgot everything. That is samadhi.
Okay,
Can you imagine? Ooh.
The Narottam quote that you were talking about also says being free, in addition to being free from material desires, being free from material anxieties. That's freedom. Being free. We were talking the other day in the CC reading about how suffering is, we become more attached to suffering, that anxiety.
So if we become freed from material anxieties in the mind, only then, when the mind is that pure, can we understand Krishna. Empty from every other aspect.
Which is this state being described.
Right.
Dancing with Krishna, being embraced, kissing him. They're not thinking of anything else.
Hare Krishna. Oh, when?
Acharya, by the way, nice class this morning.
Yes, excellent.
Finally heard a stream of consciousness from you that was more than just a comment during our little Zoom meetings here. That was
Hare
great.
Krishna, you're very kind, Prabhu.
Excellent class.
I really liked in this just reading, Prabhupada first used the phrase spiritually advanced and then spiritually enhanced, talking about the gopis after they tasted the betel nut, and then what was it, after they were touched by him, or he. So I just like this idea that, you know, the gopis are perfect. We know that the gopis are perfect, but spiritual life isn't. You get there, you get perfection, or you cross the finish line and that's it. And we've seen this before in the Rasa Leela descriptions, that there's always more and more refinement and intensification and advancement and purification, just going on and on and on and on. So those two phrases, that the gopis became spiritually advanced and spiritually enhanced, really made me think of that.
Good.
Uh,
Bhushra.
Another thing is that it mentions tilak there. Now, ordinarily, we just take it for granted that, oh yeah, tilak's very nice. It's marking, the 12 parts of my body with the name of Vishnu. But the thing is that even the gopis are wearing tilak, and that's why it's extremely
beautiful.
important.
Thank you. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there's a whole Upanishad which just simply talks about the potency and the benedictions of wearing tilak. So even the gopis are wearing tilak. So that's how important it is. Because sometimes devotees don't wear tilak. I mean, even if you don't have gopi chandan on, at least if you have water tilak.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The thing is that you have to have the markings on your body.
You recognize the places where.
Yes.
And say the names of Krishna. Very good. Hare Krishna. Okay, let's go on. Do you want to finish that, Karnath? I think you were reading. You want to just finish that last paragraph?
As stated in the Brahma Samhita, all these gopis are expansions of Krishna's pleasure potency. Touching their bodies with his hands and looking at their pleasing eyes, Krishna enjoyed the gopis exactly as a child enjoys playing with the reflection of his body in a mirror. When Krishna touched the different parts of their bodies, the gopis felt surcharged with spiritual energy. They could not adjust their loosened clothes, although they tried to keep them properly. Their hair and garments became scattered, and their ornaments loosened as they forgot themselves in company with Krishna.
Perfection. That's perfection. To forget yourself in the company of Krishna. And about tilak, water tilak you can put every day, all the time, even if you don't use chandan. Bhushra?
There's who did that painting of Krishna looking on a pillar?
On the floor
Yeah.
in Dwarka. I don't know who
seeing
did
his
it.
reflection, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Okay, shall we go on to reading the Sarata Darshini now? Tisha, would you like to go on? You have to unmute, sweetie.
Hare Krishna.
There you go.
Everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-7 Sarata Darshini. As the gopis sang in praise of Krishna, their feet danced, their hands gestured, and their eyebrows moved with playful smiles. With their braids and belts tied tight, their waists bending, their faces perspiring, the garments on their breasts moving this way and that, and their earrings swinging on their cheeks. Lord Krishna's young consort shone like streaks of lightning in a mass of clouds. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Just as Krishna appeared more beautiful in the gopis' presence, they appeared even more so in his association. The foot movements of the gopis matched the mood and rhythm of the songs. In this way, the gopis manifested more and more colorful dances and songs, along with the shaking of their arms, which were locked together. Furthermore, sometimes they would let go of each other's interlocked arms and dexterously display different mudras, hand movements, to act out the meaning of the songs, along with various kinds of evocative gestures with their smiling eyebrows. This was done to convey their transcendental moods and to show their own expertise. Bhajan Madhyas means that the gopis' waists were bending, either because of their natural slenderness or because of the swirling movements of their dancing. The gopis picked up the clothes that they had previously laid on the ground for Krishna to sit on and waved them in the air while they sang. According to the Ianartha Varga dictionary, the word Vadu can mean wife, sister-in-law, or else a woman in general. Therefore, Krishna Vadva means the woman enjoyed by Krishna. If we take the meaning of Vadu as wife, it would contradict the words of Bhishma, who said, Prakritim agan kila yasya gopa vadava. Let me surrender to Krishna, whose mood was attained by the wives of the Gopas, Gopa Vadava, during the Rasa Leela. Srimad Bhagavatam 1:940. Bhishma did not say wives of Krishna, so we should not give such an interpretation. In Vaishnava Toshani, Sri Sanatana Goswami also does not interpret Vadu as wife in this verse. He says the golden-limbed gopis are the Vadus, wives of beautiful dark blue Krishna, in the sense that, just like wives, the gopis are embraced only by Krishna, sheltered only by Krishna, and enjoyed only by Krishna.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that for a moment, okay? What does that mean, that last sentence? Read that last sentence again.
He says the golden-limbed gopis are the Vadus, wives of beautiful dark blue Krishna, in the sense that, just like wives, the gopis are embraced only by Krishna, sheltered only by Krishna, and enjoyed only by Krishna.
Those only enjoyed by Krishna, sheltered only by Krishna, embraced only by Krishna. What does that mean? What does that mean for you and your part in your relationship with Krishna?
I guess I'll revert to someone else because I don't.
Okay. Did you understand the question? Those three activities. How does that affect the devotee? How does that affect the devotee? Anyone?
I would say that's us too. We are, sheltered only by Krishna, no one else, and
enjoyed only by Krishna. What does that mean?
Krishna is the supreme enjoyer,
and we are his servants. That's what it means to be enjoyed by Krishna, that you serve him, right?
Serve for his pleasure.
His pleasure. Okay. Anyone else have something to add to that? That was good, Tisha. Okay, Bahushra.
When the gopis are said to have husbands, those are husbands and names only, because only Krishna is able to actually touch them and embrace them and kiss them. The husbands don't do that. It's a name only.
Remember how we read previously that when they left their homes, it was described in the purports that Yogamaya created replica gopis that would stay with the husbands, because otherwise the husbands would become offensive toward Krishna, which is not desirable. So Yogamaya's acts kept everyone satisfied. The gopis got to go to the rasa dance. The husbands were satisfied that they stayed home, and everything was reconciled.
Very.
No, thank you.
But good point. It was illusory, is the point, Bahushra. That your point is that they're not really married to anyone else. But the Parakiya Rasa.
Good morning.
In order to have those sentiments.
Haribol Prabhuji, Dhanyavad, Videsha the Prabhupada.
You're just joining us?
Did you
Uh,
have something to say, Mukunda?
Let me see. I've been so kind of
No, he
busy.
said
I'm on a class right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Let me
you're
take a
saying
look.
hello to us or them?
I wanted to check with someone who is
Maybe you
on
should
it, so we can
maybe you should mute Mukunda if
Mute
you're
for
not
now, Mukunda.
participating.
Just 4 people. Yeah, my wife, and another
Mukunda.
couple. That's all.
Mukunda ji, mute your Sadhusanga thing.
Saturday.
Saade Prabhu, probably not
Mute,
on
Pachi,
this
you can mute
You
him.
can mute him as an English.
I can't remember.
But Sanatan Prabhu and his wife will come on this time.
Mukunda, can you hear me?
Oh. Yeah, because I'm trying to introduce devotees to the community there gradually,
Wait,
and then we'll make
I
a
don't
plan.
think he
maybe
can
when
hear
Trying to
me.
get
come
my
back,
list of.
or maybe
Give me a
myself,
second.
Sahab Bhumi, all of us, and maybe the wives
Mukunda.
will come up.
Can you mute Sadhusanga, please?
Do you
Weird.
do you have any dietary restrictions?
Oh, this is not good.
No.
Yeah, let me try and find
not
them.
in Kartik Maas
But
or
just
anything.
mute everybody.
So forth. So pretty much not.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
very good. Sorry about that. I think Mukunda was not aware of that.
Obviously.
He wouldn't have.
He was
Okay.
telling them he was on a class with us.
Oh,
Let's get back to this. Bring our minds back here. I wanted to point out how detailed commentators are, especially Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur in the grammar, explaining this whole concept here. According to the dictionary, Vadhu means wife, sister-in-law, or else a woman in general. So it could mean any of those. Therefore, Krishna Vadva, which is in the verse, means the woman enjoyed by Krishna. If we take Vadhu as wife, it would contradict the words of Bhishma from another verse in the first canto, where Bhishma specifically says, Prakritim Agana Kila Vyasa Gopa Vadava. Let me surrender to Krishna, whose mood was attained by the wives of the Gopas, Gopa Vadva, during the Rasa Lila. So Bhishma did not say wives of Krishna, so we should not give that interpretation to that verse. And Vaishnav Toshini Sanatana Goswami also does not interpret Vadhu as wife. So Sanskrit can be such a subtle language that it could be interpreted and it could be translated to say wives of Krishna. What's wrong? He's dancing with his wives. But we know that the translation is not really that, and that the Parakiya Rasa means they're thinking that they have husbands other than Krishna, because that's part of the excitement of the whole exchange between them. I just found that fascinating, that hearing from someone who's self-realized can pick out such details, connect them to another Mahajan, Bhishma, and understand it from that point of view.
Okay. Shall we go on, Patsy?
Sure. Mhm.
Okay, I'm all confused. Let's see, where are we? Okay, Mandantara, would you like to read?
Absolutely.
Are you in Florida?
No,
Oh,
I'm still like Katie Nagri.
how did
Text 8, Sarta Darshini. Eager to enjoy conjugal love, their throats colored with various pigments, the gopis sang loudly and danced. They were overjoyed by Krishna's touch, and they sang songs that filled the entire universe. Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakur. The word Nityayamana means dancing, honor or respect. Krishna honored the gopis for their dancing and singing. Rakta Kanta means that gopis' throats were tinged with various ragas. Sangita Sara, an authoritative, thank you, book on music says there are as many musical ragas, melodies, as there are species of life. Among those ragas, the 16,000 sung by the gopis are the foremost. Wow. The gopis were very attached to the affection shown by Krishna. becoming blissful from Krishna's touch. They did not feel any fatigue from dancing. Their singing pervaded the entire universe. The words Yat Gitendam Arvitam also indicate that even today, devotees throughout the world sing the praises of Krishna, following the examples of gopis.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Pati,
Krishna.
would you like to have a discussion, Pati?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, Mandatora, do you have something that you'd like to share with us about this?
No, not really. It's relatable, being in such, of course they're not seeing Krishna as God, but he's this adorable personage, and Krishna is even more beautiful in their presence. And it's relatable in the sense that when you're in the presence of someone extremely wonderful, you're enlivened and enthused in every which way, and can't even relate to your own stuff that's going on, your
Right.
bodily whatever. So that's all I have to say.
Are there any
Okay.
musicians in our group that can explain a little bit about ragas, swaras, melodies, the different features of Vedic science of music?
Hare Krishna.
Sama, you studied a little bit about it. Why don't you explain a little bit about it?
Is Shatamai not on the forum today?
Oh, she's
Oh, did she come?
I don't think so.
Right, she isn't a performer, isn't she?
She is. Oh, it's a very hard science, really. And we were studying about Mritangi. Where is that from? Oh, that's from some.
Nanda Vrindavan Champu.
Yeah. I don't want to comment on that. It's too vast. It really is. I haven't been studying for a while. But it is a wonderful, as the Nath said before, he was talking about the arts, music, dance. This is something has to be used for Krishna in his service, and it's so.
It's such an integral part of the rasa dance.
Integral.
What's happening here is that we're just in these, we're kind of in the throngs of it now, but it started off where they were just touching and starting to move together, and then we read about their armlets and their anklets and their bells starting to make sounds, and musical instruments started to play, and they started reciprocating with one another in that dance and the movement according to the sounds. The whole universe is becoming filled with their singing. And we'll read in a little later in another book about how there's competition between some of the different gopis. I put an appendix onto this feature. But here it was describing, let me pick it up, because it's so important that to try and capture the understanding of this too. Sangita Sada, an authoritative book on music, says, there are as many musical ragas or melodies as there are species of life. In other words, there's 8,400,000. But among those ragas, the 16,000 sung by the gopis are the foremost. So they're enjoying singing so many different melodies, which evoke I know that there's different kinds of ragas for different times of day. Just like you sing a particular melody in the morning, a different one in the middle of the day, and a different one in the evening, because the moods set establish something different. I see Akaranath has his.
And so does Premananda. Let's hear from Premananda for a moment.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have Premanandaji. Nice to see you here.
Hare Krishna, please
Hare
have some
Krishna. In missing you on the Zoom. Premananda is a very wonderful devotee who has been delving into Prabhupada's books with us for many years. It's so nice to see you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
What do you have to say about
So it's just a comment that I have not studied Gopal Champu, but I have heard from devotees that Srila Jiva Goswami, he used many of these ragas in that book. It's a huge voluminous book.
In the writing itself.
Yeah.
In the way that it's composed.
Yes. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes, that each of his, whatever the songs, they're like in different ragas.
Wow.
He covered maybe more than 500 or 600 ragas in that book. But again, I'm not a musical person. I cannot identify, but I think the expert musicians can
in
identify the
ragas. Oh my goodness, because I've been studying it, and I guess the
Sanskrit.
poetry. There's poetry there.
Yeah.
That he does for the ragas. Thank you,
Thank you.
Akornath.
Yeah, I think I've seen it in the Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur bhajans also, that the book says to be sung in the such and such raga. And my question is, does anybody know these 16,000 or some of them? Is there any authentic music teacher who can say this, who can teach us this is that raga, this is one of the ragas sung by the gopis?
I know there are music teachers like that in India. As a matter of fact, there's one Australian devotee. When we were in Jagannath Puri, there was a family from Australia that also lived there. And one of the young men wanted to take tabla lessons. And before he even began, he had to make a vow and an agreement with his teacher that he would not play publicly, he would not share anything for at least 5 years, so that he would become proficient before he showed and did that. He could practice, of course, and do different things, but he wouldn't be able to play, so that he would actually learn the science more in detail.
Yeah, I heard Ravi Shankar complain that he was a little embarrassed by some of George Harrison's sitar music.
As a
like
student,
in Norwegian
huh?
Wood, you know,
Really.
because it wasn't really
Okay.
didn't sound like this right instrument even.
Okay. Mukunda, are you with us, or are you still in the other phone call?
No. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was terrible. Confusing me.
Did it come across?
Yes, it did.
Totally.
Yeah, we have a preaching program out of town, and the
Okay. Well,
coordinated and all that. It's crazy. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
When I was in India back in '86, I was good friends with Ayendra Prabhu from America. So when I got there, we were trying to start that 24-hour kirtan thing in Vrindavan, and we used to actually ride around on rickshaws to take melodies for it.
Oh.
And then we had some curiosity. So there was a very good Sangeet Acharya in Vrindavan. And we went and we were questioning, and we asked him about the morning melody that we sing, because it's so universal to all the mats and everything. So he said it's called Jagarti. And this melody is so unique because it contains both meeting and separation at the same time.
Oh,
how
wow.
wonderful.
Which
That's
tone
good.
was that? Do you remember it? So
Yeah, I'm
one.
one.
Which one?
Okay.
That's called Jagarti.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
beautiful.
that. Bhavishwa? Unmute, Prabhu. Unmute. There you go.
Just like when you hear and you read about the necks of the gopis, and also the neck, just like Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, when he drank the poison, he had the blue neck. But then when he started to chant the names of Gora, then the blue streak disappeared, and Gauri was all of a sudden say, you're an imposter. You're not my husband. And she ran away. And so the thing is that it's also Trireka Kambu Kantage on the neck of Radharani. She's got 3 lines, like the 3 lines of a conch shell. And so in that way is that when they're talking about the different moods that are manifesting on the throat, it's actually very wonderful to read that and then hear that, because there's so many different details about how the neck changes color according to the mood.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
Definitely.
There's a science to read physiognomy. There's a science, right? Okay. We're gonna go on for a moment, Makarnath. I'm sorry. We're gonna run out of time here. Premananda, would you like to read? What was that?
I'll just put my comment on the chat.
Okay. Now that you're there, what is it? Tell us.
I was thinking Jagarti it's in the verse 269 that what is night for all beings is the time of awakening. Jagarti is the time of awakening. I was thinking that.
Interesting.
Oh, that's such a cool
it's
analysis.
not just a
Very
metaphor,
good.
it's also that we're chanting Mangal Arti while people are sleeping.
Nice.
That's good. That's a nice interpretation. Okay, let's go on with Premananda reading. Would you like to read, Premananda?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Text 9, Sarartha Darshini. One gopi, joining Lord Mukunda in his singing, sang pure melodious tones that rose harmoniously above his. Krishna was pleased and showed great appreciation for her performance, saying, "Excellent, excellent." Then another gopi repeated the same melody, but in a special metrical pattern, and Krishna praised her also. Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur's commentary, the swaras, 7 notes of the scale, are born from the Shrutis. These 7 swaras correspond somewhat to the cries of the peacock, chatak, goat, crane, cuckoo, stork, and elephant. There are 18 jatis, chromatic tones, which arise from these swaras. Jatis are the source of ragas. There are 2 types of jatis, pure and distorted. The pure jatis are the 7 harmonic tones known as Sajja, Rishabha, Gandhara, Madhyama, Panchama, Dhaivata, and Nishada. When they are transformed, flattened, or sharpened, they are known as distorted Vikrita. Though they all sang, Krishna did not sing at the same time as the gopis. Another meaning of the Amishritaha is that the gopis sang with pure jatis, not mixed with any intermediate tones. This was possible because the gopi was singing only these pure harmonic tones due to her supreme expertise. Although she was performing this difficult feat, she vibrated them excellently. Appreciating the skillful singing of this gopi, Krishna honored her by giving his yellow chadar.
Oh,
Authorities conclude that the gopi was Vishaka.
okay, hold on. I wanted Thakur Murari to read, and then we'll discuss this. Thank you, Premananda. Just keep that thoughts of it so that we can ask you how you understand this. Murari? Thakur Murari?
Krishna, dear devotees.
Haribo.
Haribo. Nice to see Premananda and nice to see other devotees. So,
Hare
please accept my obeisances. Another gopi is where I'm supposed to start?
Yes.
Another gopi?
Yes.
Yes, another gopi expertly performed the alapa of one song with Dhruva Tala. Krishna honored her with ornaments such as finger rings, jewel-studded necklaces, and his own slippers. This gopi displayed even more excellence than Vishaka and was no other than Lalita Saki. Shall I continue?
Yes.
Okay, seeing that the gopis were reluctant to bring the ragas and
Rajinis,
okay, they sung to even greater levels of beauty. Radha herself then sang. From this, we can understand that among all the gopis, Radha was endowed with the most excellent and attractive of all qualities.
Pachi, you want to have a discussion or should we
Yes.
keep reading? Oh,
Why not?
okay. Premananda and Thakur Murari, what would you like to say about these?
Should I go since I'm on the mic?
Sure.
Yes, we are seeing that different gopis are playing different parts. For example, they were saying that maybe one Lalita was, singing maybe a song, and you would say that you're Radharani herself. So it seemed that we are seeing just some the sweet nectar, of the performance that each gopi is singing. I'm playing different parts. I hope I'm making some sense.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question here. It says, seeing the gopis were reluctant to bring the ragas and raginis. They sung to even greater levels of beauty. What does that mean? Why were they reluctant? And
What does those 2 words mean? Sorry.
okay, Karuna,
sure what
do you
they
know
mean.
why?
Well,
Do you have the answer? Wait a minute, Thakur, do you know?
No, I'm not sure what those
Okay.
words mean. Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to what Akarna said and then Premananda.
My impression was that Lalita and Vishaka were so excellent that the other gopis were ashamed to
Participate and put in there too.
yeah. And then only Radharani could do it because she could excel them.
Oh,
Yeah, that's kind of how I read it too.
And the ragini, I don't know exactly what a ragini is, but it's some kind of
small
a
raga.
raga, a small raga. Yeah.
Also,
And-
it's interesting, just like on a piano, we have the white keys and the black keys. The black keys are what are they?
Sharps and flats.
Sharps and flats. So it was described that there's pure tones, then there's the sharps and flats. And in another book called Ananda Vrindavan Champu, in the story of Holi, there's this Gandharva who comes from the heavenly planets. And they've brought her special to engage in kirtan during the holy festival. And she starts to sing sounds that aren't even heard on earth because the tones don't manifest here. And then there's a little bit of a competition between Lalita Vishaka and this Gandharva, what was her name, Matangi. And Lalita starts to sing in what's called microtones. So the music is just even more enhanced to levels that we can't even relate to because they don't manifest here. Mukunda? Oh, you say about something.
Premananda, do you have a comment on
Yeah.
this, Prabhu?
I don't because music is not my forte. So this was like over my head. So.
Okay. Okay. Anyone else, or should we go on?
Yeah, we can go on.
Okay.
Shuri Rup is here too. I don't know if she wants to.
Okay. What are we reading? I just looked at.
We're on
Okay,
10.
Shruti Rupa, do you want to read? Is she
Where
here?
are we, on 10?
Yes.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Text 10, Sarartha Darshini. When one gopi grew tired from the rasa dance, she turned to Krishna, standing at her side, holding a baton, and grasped his shoulder with her arm. The dancing had loosened her bracelets and the flowers in her hair. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. After alluding to the excellent singing and dancing of Lalita and Vishaka, the most prominent gopi, Sri Radha, is indicated by describing her good fortune. Gada Brita refers to Krishna as the person who held or encouraged discussions about the various merits of the two gopis. Singing, one gopi leaned upon Krishna's shoulder with her right arm. Her bracelets, ornaments, and the flowers in her hair all became loose. This special gopi was Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha, because as an independent lover, she is showing the mentality of being superior to her boyfriend.
Hare Krishna.
Text
Little bit of mood
So what
there.
does that mean?
Well, all right, we'll leave it to you, more experts.
No, what's any realization?
Oh, wait a minute, I have to turn this on. I mean, I don't know. Is that has to do with the pride, where she begins to feel more superior because of her position? Is that what, and then are we going to find out?
No, that was previous.
Left wing.
Oh, left wing.
That's a hint.
That's why I said let you say it.
Hare Krishna. Pati? Why don't you tell?
It says here, when she became tired, she turned to Krishna, standing at her side, holding a baton, and grasped his shoulder with her arm. In other words, she grabbed him. And the dancing had loosened her hair and her bracelets. So from what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is doing, he's saying that because she was a little bit aggressive here, that's how he picked out who she might have been, whereas one of the other girls probably wouldn't have done that. Mukunda?
Yeah, Radhika has different moods. There's 8 different kinds of moods. And one is called Swadhina Bhatrika Nayika. So it means when the heroine, Swadhin, brings her beloved under her control and she acts boldly. It's called Swadhina Bhatrika Nayika.
So that's in this instance, that's what that looks like, where she's displaying that mood.
Yes.
Good. Okay, let's go on. Nanda, would you like to read the next verse? Give her time to get there. Nanda ji, are you there?
Yes, yeah.
Hare
Text
Rama.
11, Sarata Darshini. Upon the shoulder of one gopi, Krishna placed his arm, whose natural blue lotus fragrance was mixed with that of the sandalwood pulp, anointing it. As the gopi relished that fragrance, her bodily hair stood on end in jubilation, and she kissed his arm. Commentary, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. One gopi then kissed the arm resting on her shoulder, which was anointed with sandalwood paste. Even though that arm was anointed with sandalwood pulp, the prominent aroma of lotuses, which naturally emanates from Krishna's body, covered the fragrance of the sandalwood pulp. Since this gopi is acting in the same way as the gopi described in verse 1032:4, she is indeed Shamala Saki. Text 4. One gopi joyfully took Krishna's hand between her folded palms, and another placed his arm, anointed with sandalwood paste, on her shoulder.
Any comments?
Was it you, Sama, that was telling me that every limb of Krishna's body has a different fragrance? Somebody that
No,
was
you told me that, I thought.
I did? Hare
I
Krishna.
think- Or maybe my husband
That's
told
what that's what happens when you're old. Every day is new and fresh because you can't remember.
Yeah, every day is new and fresh. Okay, that's
No,
nice
no
though.
meaning to the phrase.
Okay. You want to go back to the words so she can see? You have something else to say about that, Nandaji?
No, for real, no.
Okay, okay.
How
Okay,
beautiful, though, you know, we engage in deity worship, and some of the ingredients give us a peek into the transcendental world. Here it's described that sandalwood, camphor, frankincense, the different the scents that they use in deity worship. Sometimes they give us a hint. So here it's being described that although his arms had sandalwood paste on them, which has its own scent, usually would enhance someone's fragrance. The lotus flower, the scent of Krishna's body is like blue lotus flowers, and that was underneath the sandalwood. So in meditation, it's nice to try and put it all together and just appreciate how fine were the experiences that they're undergoing and feeling.
Karuna?
I just wonder if anybody can say more about Shyamala. I've heard or I've read that she was like, she had her own group of gopis, but she was friendly with Radharani. But maybe Mukunda, if someone knows.
She's one of the Asasakis, I think, isn't she? No?
Shyamala's not.
She has a separate
Oh,
group.
she's from, I thought Chandravali's
leader.
camp. Mukunda?
No, she's called Suritpak. She's a friend of Radhika's. When Radhika has pastimes with Krishna at night, in the morning time, she is forgetful of what happened because she's so absorbed. Shyamala shows up to Varsana and starts to repeat all the things that happened during the night.
Proud service.
Yeah, she'll repeat all the things that happened and explain, and Radhika will deny it, say, no, why are you lying like this? So
Oh, no. Okay, let's go on. Sudha Sindhu, would you like to read Sudha Sindhu?
Yes.
Okay, Hare
That's
Krishna.
12. Hare Krishna. That's 12.
Yes.
Saratra Dashini.
Yes.
Next to Krishna's cheek, one gopi put her own, beautified by the effulgence of her earrings, which glittered as she danced. Krishna then carefully gave her the betel nut he was chewing. Vishwanatha Chakravati Thakura, one gopi whose swinging earrings reflected brightly on her cheeks, touched her cheek to Krishna's cheek on the pretense of fatigue. Krishna offered some of his true betel nut by passing over as he kissed her. The word Prada comes from pra in Prakrishta in a special way, and Adat he gave. This is Saibya, the gopi referred to in verse 5 of the last chapter. That's 5. A slender gopi respectfully took in her joined hands the betel nut he had chewed, and another gopi, burning with desire, put his lotus feet on her breast.
What mercy. What wonderful mercy, huh?
Yeah.
To get the betel nut of Krishna. Can you imagine what a thing? Krishna transfers the betel nut that he's chewing into your mouth. Hare Krishna. It's pretty wonderful. Anything else? Okay, let's Thakur, you have something to say?
Yes, can I make a quick comment?
Yes, please.
It said often that I think Prabhupada called the rascals, those persons who jump to the 10th canto and the rasa dance without having studied from Canto 1,
Uh-huh.
in the sense that here we are relishing the whole process from, all those 5 chapters there. So we see where it's necessary for us to be exposed to those earlier chapters so we can really appreciate the
Yes,
whole,
that's
the-
there. And when we were deciding to do this, to study this rasa dance, we remembered also that one of the first, before all the Bhagavatam was presented, Srila Prabhupada presented the Krishna book. So there are different levels of understanding that one can have by reading it. Now, 50 years ago, you have one realization, those who were around 50 years ago. People, some of us weren't even born 50 years ago. I was. That's you understood it in one way, but understanding it 50 years later, you have a different realization. So there's no blockage. It's just understanding it from a service attitude. The way it's being presented by the acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada. We don't think that we're gopis dancing with Krishna. We have to cultivate a service attitude and understand that even hearing these transcendental pastimes of Krishna, we become purified.
If I'm not mistaken, that's kind of what he was alluding to, that we've been studying all this time, and now we're able to appreciate it because we've done that. We've been studying all along.
Yeah, we can appreciate it on a different level. Not
Right.
that you can't appreciate it for at one level when you're first coming, and then you gradually. Now I hope I understand it more and more. That's the thing with spiritual knowledge; it's ever increasing. So it's not that, I'm not advanced enough to understand this. You're certainly not advanced enough to understand it completely, fully, but that's eternal. So we should understand it like that, Thakur, that we can hear this. Is that, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I was just saying, as Job alluded, that I'm saying that if one did not have the experience of studying the Srimad Bhagavatam from the Canto,
Right.
I was jump to the Rasa dance, then one would have missed. One could not get the essence of
That could be too, because
Yes.
it's not the first chapter in the 10th canto either.
Yeah.
So-
All those things. And also, before I go, is that think of different number of gopis, and each gopis having a kind of special, reaction and Krishna.
Understanding
Yes, I
each
was
one of
thinking-
them a little better by these descriptions.
And don't get me wrong, studying from Canto 1 and studying from the Bhagavad Gita, that is essential in spiritual life. We have to. We have to.
Did Mukunda read yet, Sama?
No, we're getting there. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, Mukunda, why don't you just read this verse? Thank you.
Another gopi? Is that what we're studying?
Yes.
Another gopi became fatigued as she danced and sang, the bells on her ankles and the waist tinkling. So she placed upon her breast the comforting lotus hand of Lord Achyuta, who was standing by her side. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. While dancing and singing, one gopi placed Krishna's lotus hand upon her breast. This particular gopi is Chandravali, who sees Krishna's hand. Padma Sakhi held Krishna's lotus feet on her breast. Though there are differences between holding Krishna's hands and feet, in both cases the gopi did this to relieve herself of the love pains in her breast. Thus, the present verse can also refer to Padma Sakhi. Although the 8th gopi, named Bhadra, is not mentioned here, she is mentioned in the Vishnu Puran.
Any comment?
Yeah,
Mukunda?
Padma and Saibya are what Vishaka and Lalita are to Radhika.
Sure.
Padma and Saibya are to Chandravali.
Mhm.
Bhadra is like what Shamla is to Radhika, Bhadra is to Chandravali.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's go on. Thank you, Mukundaji. Acharya, you want to read?
Yes, I'd love to. Thank you. Text 14, Sarartha Darshini. Having attained as their intimate lover, Lord Achyuta, the exclusive consort of the goddess of fortune, the gopis enjoyed great pleasure. They sang his glories as he held their necks with his arms. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In this way, other gopis enjoyed with Krishna according to their individual ecstatic sentiments. The wives of Kaliya said that Lakshmi performed severe penances to attain Krishna but could not attain him. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:16-36. Uddhava also said that Lakshmi could not get the same mercy as the Vraja gopis achieved. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-60. The Brihad Bhagavatamrita says that Lakshmi became greedy to attain Krishna upon seeing his beauty. Even though she performed severe penances, still she could not attain him. From these verses, it must be concluded that Lakshmi did not attain Krishna. Therefore, the phrase Shriya Ekantavalabham in this verse cannot mean Krishna was the exclusive lover of Lakshmi. Instead, the meaning is as follows. Attaining the most attractive Achyuta Krishna as their exclusive lover, the gopis encircled his neck with their arms and enjoyed with him. The word Shriya can mean who were just like the goddesses of fortune. Just as Lakshmi enjoys being held upon the chest of Lord Narayan, similarly the Vraja gopis enjoyed having their necks encircled by the arms of Krishna. Or else, because Krishna is one with Narayan, Krishna is also the beloved of the goddess of fortune.
Oh, that's nice. Any comments, Acharya?
No, just that it's a beautiful description and also a nice distinction that, he's interpreting in a couple of ways. First, explaining that Shriya, what's the word? Shriya, right?
Mhm.
Can't refer to Lakshmi because Lakshmi was unable to attain Krishna in Vrindavan, and then explaining how it actually applies to the gopis. And then a nice little concession. Well, Krishna and Narayan are the same, so
Yeah,
you could say Lakshmi. So I like how he handled that, how he explained that.
he handled that pretty well. Good.
I want to take a minute here as we were reading this to explain what's upcoming. Here it says that even though the goddess of fortune performed severe penances, still she could not attain him. From these verses, it must be concluded that Lakshmi did not attain Krishna. As I was studying and putting together course materials and topics so that we could properly study these chapters, we're coming to the end of this chapter in a couple of more meetings, which means the end of the Rasa Leela and the Srimad Bhagavatam. But because it's so condensed, and because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaudiya Vaishnav Sampradaya puts so much emphasis on it, there are further instructions for us how to attain Krishna in Vrindavan. And I sent out an email last week with upcoming readings. And if you look on the table of contents on our website, it's there. And these books and the instructions by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Ramananda Rai, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, and Rupa Goswami, and finally the Brahma Samhita, explain all these topics and expand on this concept of how the living entities can attain Krishna, the cowherd boy, in Goloka Vrindavan. It's a big part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. So we'll go into those as we progress. Just want to take that opportunity because it's interesting here that even Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, could not attain Krishna in Vrindavan. So, but there are ways to do it. There is a way to do it.
There's a way to do it. Mukunda?
Yeah, it's mentioned that when we go on pilgrimage in Vrindavan, there's one place called Belban. So it's described that Lakshmi Devi always stays there in Belban, performing austerities perpetually to try to obtain the service to Krishna like that. But because Krishna is so merciful, he fulfills her desire by allowing her to come in Gaur Leela as Lakshmi Priya, the first wife of Mahaprabhu.
Haribol.
Thank you. I think Acharya just mentioned the same thing on a text. Did you? Okay. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Let's.
and I put a link to a photo of the deity of
deities,
Lakshmi Devi there.
Lakshmi.
Ah,
Lakshmi Priya.
okay. Faye, let's go on with Faye reading. Faye, would you like to read, my darling? Are you there? Faye?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Nice to see you.
Thank you, Mataji. It's kind and wonderful to have your association.
Hi. Glad to see you here with us.
Thank you. Text 15, Saratma Darshini. Enhancing the beauty of the gopis' faces were the lotus flowers behind their ears, the locks of hair decorating their cheeks, and drops of perspiration. The reverberation of their armlets and anklet bells made a loud musical sound, and their chaplets scattered. Thus the gopis danced with the Supreme Lord in the arena of the rasa dance as swarms of bees sang in accompaniment. Commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. After describing the splendid excellence of their dancing and singing, Sukadev Goswami now describes the magnificent beauty of the gopis' faces, which were enhanced by swaying earrings, scattered hair, and the drops of perspiration on their foreheads. All of this intensified the loveliness of their faces as they danced. The melodious tinkling of their bangles and ankle bells surpassed the music of the drums, flutes, and other instruments that were playing. The presiding deities of the instruments all appeared there to make their lives successful. Amazingly, the instruments sounded without anyone having to play them. The fragrant flower garlands tied in the gopis' hair loosened and fell to the ground as if their hairstyles, pleased with the skillful dance steps of the gopis, were offering flowers in appreciation of their talent.
Let's read the next and last one before we have a discussion. Bahushra, would you like to finish up for us?
Okay, text 16, Sarartha Darshini. In this way, Lord Krishna, the original Lord Narayan, master of the goddess of fortune, took pleasure in the company of the young women of Raj by embracing them, caressing them, and glancing lovingly at them as he smiled his broad, playful smiles. It was just as if a child were playing with his own reflection. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. All these elements of song, dance, and beauty brought Krishna's play of love to perfection. During the rasa dance, Krishna relished varieties of enjoyment in direct association with the gopis. When the dance reached a climax, Krishna touched the gopis' left breasts with his right hand and counted the tala of the music on their breast by tapping his fingers to the beat. The phrase Snigna Ikshana means that Krishna glanced lovingly or looked at the private parts of the gopis' bodies as they danced. Hasahai indicates that Krishna's face blossomed with smiles after receiving the gopis' sweet kisses. Krishna is addressed as Ramesho, which means he is the master of all opulences. It can also mean that Krishna is the exclusive lover, Ramana, of the gopis. Enchanted by the pure love of the gopis, Krishna sported with them just like a frolicsome boy plays with his own shadow, Pratibimba. But how could one person enjoy with thousands of gopis? Krishna expanded his form into many to delight with each gopi who was also an expansion of his own form. The gopis are Hladini Shakti, pleasure potencies, expanded from Krishna's personal form, Sarup. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam 3.2.11 states that Swabhimbam refers to Krishna's own form. Therefore, the meaning of the verse is Krishna expanding himself in unlimited, fully potent forms, enjoyed with each of the gopis who are manifested from his own internal potency. Raise it up.
I can't. That's the end of it.
The phrase pratibimba, his own reflection, cannot be explained in any other way. To say that, let me see.
Bimba means shadow is inappropriate.
Okay, yeah, I can't read
Okay,
it.
To say that bimba means shadow is inappropriate.
That's the last
Okay.
sentence.
Thank you. Okay, let's have a discussion on this. Wow. These
Tapping of fingers. So I've never heard that one before. So that's interesting. It makes sense.
What was it?
Tapping of fingers.
Oh, on their breasts.
Yeah, and the thing is keeping the beat. So the thing is that happens many times. You see it. What's the origin of all these things? Krishna. Because the thing is, a lot of times we have that where we try to keep the beat with our fingers or tap on the table or whatever. So the origin of that is actually Krishna and the Rasadev. That's very interesting. In other words,
the origin is Krishna tapping the beat on the gopi's breast.
Exactly, and not only that, tapping.
Adi Ras.
Yeah, and all the different types of beats that there are. Imagine that, unlimited amounts of beats. So then Krishna's, very nicely just tapping like that. That's wonderful.
Very
beautiful. Oh my goodness. Patty, you want to say something about all this?
Just appreciating hearing it. I think we were talking about that previously, just simply hearing. Was it Acharya? Did he say that? Something in class? You were talking, Acharya, about how the process is simply to hear is also service. We can actually enter into that realm through the medium of transcendental sound vibration. It's purifying in the heart, it's enlivening, and brings us there. Kind of wondering, I don't know if he can say anything or speak. Sesha, anything?
Well,
you have to unmute if you want to share anything.
I don't know if he wants
to. Okay, if he doesn't, that's fine too.
You know, in reading all of these topics, if you want to put it back for a minute, Patty, to the words, we have to relate it to ourselves,
Any particular part?
Well, that's what I'm looking for it here. The last sentence. Krishna expanding himself is in unlimited, fully potent forms enjoyed with each of the gopis who are manifested from his own internal potency. And each soul in the universe is manifested from Krishna. So he expands himself to have a relationship with each one. So when I read these profound things about intimate relationship between the gopis and Krishna, which is the perfection of all ras, it actually inspires that we too have to establish, not only is not established because it's already there, uncover our relationship with Krishna. And each one of us has a relationship with Krishna that will satisfy us completely. But the way to do it, and I read this in this verse my husband was talking about in the Hansa Guya prayers. You can't have any other desire in your heart, in your mind. Your mind has to be completely empty of all material desire and anxiety, and then you can see Krishna. It's an easy process, right? Empty your mind of anything other than keeping it clean for Krishna. That's what it takes. But of course, Lord Chaitanya is very kind. Hare Krishna. Acharya.
Yeah, could you quickly go back to the text?
Sure.
I really liked at the beginning of it in the verse where it's Krishna is described as the original Narayan and a master of the goddess of fortune. So I like that, especially in the previous commentary when he was distinguishing between the gopis and Krishna. between the gopis and Lakshmi. So addressing Lord Krishna as Narayan, the master of the goddess of
Interesting.
fortune,
Nice
is
connection.
almost like, reinforcing that and reminding us, oh, he's the master of the goddess of fortune, but he's taking pleasure with the gopis. So that implies that that's a superior taste, a superior pleasure for him, that he's even leaving aside the goddess of fortune to enjoy with the gopis.
But he comes back to the goddess of fortune too.
Sure, she's also the constant companion,
Yeah.
but she also can't get what the gopis are getting.
Yeah,
in
beautiful.
our
Nice
in our
connection.
material minds, we have the tendency to compare.
Yeah.
And comparing spiritual things in the spiritual world is a different kind of comparison, because Prabhupada has said that often. Everything is equal, but even though everything is equal, it must be said that the relationship the gopis have with Krishna is the most exalted because they gave up everything. So it's like another Achinta Bheda Tattva. We can't think that one spiritual relationship with Krishna is lesser. It's
Right.
it's lesser, but it's not lesser really.
Right.
Like that.
I don't want to cast any aspersions on Lakshmi Devi.
Aspersions.
I'm poor enough as it is. I don't want to invite
Paddy.
anything bad on me.
Tell your thing, Paddy. No aspersions of culmination. That's what there is in the spiritual world. No aspersions of culmination. That means whatever thinking that has like in a framework in here has nothing to do with spiritual life. Thakur.
So quickly, that last line in the text where it is said, as if it's a child sort of enjoying his own reflection or playing his own reflection. I was thinking there is a story of in Dwarka, Krishna suddenly saw his image somewhere in the hall there, and we said, "Wow, this person is so beautiful." He saw his reflection, I think. Yes.
Yes.
I'm thinking that, yes.
Good.
And
Someone mentioned that before, I think.
Yes. So I'm saying when you look through it, if a child is enjoying his own reflection, you understand, you understand. For example, if you look at yourself in the mirror, it's like, ordinary stuff, you might say, a line here and there, but you're not so overwhelmed, so to speak. Yes. So,
Right. You might play, right. And that's
and
all
the last time, look at a child and, enjoying his own reflection. So it's pretty cool. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Very sweet. Mukunda and then Bhushra.
Yeah, Haribol. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's mentioned there clearly that subjectively, every devotee feels completely fulfilled in whatever relationship they have with Krishna.
Exactly.
Objectively, it's mentioning Aishwarya Ganite Sakala Jagater Mormashit, Aishwarya Shaitala Prem Naimor Preet. Because Lakshmi Devi's love is imbued with knowledge that he's Narayan, he's Bhagavan, he's God, then there is, from a neutral perspective, he says, Tatashtavi Charlie, from a neutral point of view, the prem of the gopis is higher because there's no Aishwarya involved.
Yeah, familiar.
Yeah. And the verse that Takumarai was just quoting, the last part of that verse is so interesting because it says, Sarabasam upabhoktam kamaye radhika eva. When Krishna saw himself in the pillar, first he describes his own beauty, then he says, I also desire to enjoy this beauty just like Radhika. Oh. That becomes the genesis of becoming Mahaprabhu, but Krishna is so greedy, he wants his cake and eat it too. So in order to see himself enjoying his Radhika, he takes the form of Jagannath so he could look at it.
What a rasa with Lord Jagannath on the cart and Lord Chaitanya dancing. That is like the most sublime thing. They're both Mahaprabhu. They're both Mahaprabhu. So divine, so wonderful. Bhushra, you have something to say? Thank you, Mukunda.
Yeah, there in the line, it's mentioned in the beginning of the verse, it says, Lord Krishna, the original Narayan. So the thing is, Eti Cham Sankalas to start Krishna Stu Bhagavan Swayam. In other words, is that it's describing how all those other incarnations are plenary portions, but he's the original. So the thing is, because there's many that, even among the Madhvas and different groups or they're just saying that Narayan is the topmost. But in Bhagavatam itself, if you accept Bhagavatam as the topmost, Purana, then the thing is, it says right there in so many places that it isn't just here that in this one verse. It's mentioned many places that Krishna is the original Narayan.
Okay, that's wonderful. It's that's wonderful, and it's true. Somehow or another, at this point, they're worshiping Narayan. That's okay. That's wonderful. Let everyone worship Krishna in any form that's attractive to you. Let's get that broad vision so that the
so
world.
what would the Sri Vaishnavas say what do they say when they find out that Lakshmi wanted to attain Krishna but couldn't? Oops.
But yeah, they won't comment on it. It's just like the Madhva's not commenting on
but
Brahma Vimohan Leela? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's fine if they don't want to comment. It's a mood in devotional service. We can't compete. We have to not take although Prabhupada also says that Krishna has two Bhagavan Swayam, Lord Brahma says it. But if someone has a deep, just like the devotees, Amupama and Murari Gupta, had a relationship with Krishna, with Lord Ram, and Anupama also had a relationship with Ram, I think it was, and they cried all night thinking, I can't change my heart. I'm trying to, because Lord Chaitanya said that Krishna is the source of everything. I can't go away from Ram. And they come, and then Murari Gupta comes in front of Lord Chaitanya and says, I can't do it, my Lord. Ram is my life. And then Lord Chaitanya says, you are Hanuman. And so however someone embraces their love for Krishna, fan that, fine.
In Chaitanya Charitamrita, remember very lovingly Mahaprabhu when he stayed with Venkata Bhatta in South India for the rainy season. He teasingly, especially also during Rath Yatra, he teases and says, why is it that your Lakshmi Devi is so much attracted to Krishna? So if you read that section, he's teasing him to tell him. Of course, later Venkata Bhatta and of course Gopal Bhatta, their son, they convert. Yeah, they convert, and Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, the uncle, they all convert. But Mahaprabhu was equally happy to see.
Well, what do you mean convert? Just maybe have a realization.
Worship Krishna.
Yeah, they changed to worship Krishna, but Anupam and Murari Gupta, Mahaprabhu was very happy that their Ram Nishta was so strong.
Yeah.
Bless them.
I mean, seriously.
And also, Gaur Leela is meant that all the devotees from previous incarnations, they come to Gaur Leela, and it says they taste the intensity of the mood of Braj in Gaur Leela. It's actually a verse that describes that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Yeah, because even if you have a deep relationship with Krishna or with Lord Chaitanya, and you're a Ram Bhakta, or you worship Korma, just as you said, the devotees are coming. They're happier. They're happy to see everyone love Krishna, and they're happy to see this magnificent pastime, just like in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Hanuman, Gokumar goes to Hanuman, and then he says, you should go to this place, you should go to this place. And he said, and he wanted Hanuman to come with him. And then he said, no, I'm okay, I'm going to stay here.
Actually, what happened was he was going to go see the Pandavas, and Bhima is his brother. So he got real excited. He actually jumped up out of the ground. He started to, and then he stopped. And then he realized, no, I'll just stay here and worship Lord Ram.
Just like
this is where I belong.
Mukunda also said this and agreed to, whatever relationship we have with Krishna is our eternal relationship, and we must embrace it. And we must appreciate other relationships. We are all individuals,
So,
wonderful.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Vanchakopataruja Tivasanivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. Thank you. Please forgive my offenses. Glories to Prabhupada. There you go.